Hi, I'm Shan Westrom, and I'd like to welcome you to our 2013 kickoff safety meeting and kind of walk through a few things with you. And this is a little different format, so you'll have to bear with me as we try some different things here this year. So this is the introductory kickoff of all these things. So, as many of you know, we've made some changes in the later part of 2012 to our safety program. A lot of you started wearing hard hats. We changed the policy, I think back in September, where hard hats became mandatory and people are starting to wear safety vests. Those were a couple noticeable changes in 2012. A lot of you also got our new safety book that we worked hard to put together. Charla helped here in our office, and we took a lot of what we had acquired with our Trade One facilities in Colorado and revamped them into our own Northern Ag Safety book. Our plan is to introduce this book kind of chapter by chapter through our 2013 monthly safety meetings, or through them I should say. But so this will be something we talk about coming up. Why don't I step back a little bit and talk also about each of the locations should have received a safety book. But then with that, inside there should be a bunch of posters that are needing to be posted at each of the locations. And you can see on the email I'm attaching, there's going to be about 4 or 5 of them. But I'll go through them each one right now to make sure each location has them. First off, we need the minimum wage poster. That needs to be posted. Then there's an Employee Family Leave Act that is mandatory that is posted at each location. Next is the Equal Opportunity, which needs to be posted. Again, if you don't have any of these posters, definitely let me know and we will get them sent out for you. And the last of the posters that we need to legally post is the OSHA poster. And so there's 4 that will need to get posted. Along with, there's a couple other OSHA fact sheets. One is on combustible dust, and the other is on grain storage, entrapments, and things like that. So there'll be 2 of these that I would like to have posted at each one of our locations. So in posting these, we don't necessarily need them out front, but they need to be in an area on a wall or a bulletin board where a lot of employees gather, and we'll see. Just so that they're visible. If we have somebody come through and inspect, at least you can point them out. There'll be another change that's coming that OSHA, there's some OSHA 300 logs that we'll be sending out. Patty here in our office in HR is putting together, and what they will be is another requirement that OSHA has for each one of our locations to post this 300 logs. So we'll be sending those out in late January and with instructions on when and how they must be posted. Those basically need to be posted starting February 1st through the end of April, and then we would want to take those down. But there's specific requirements on those, and we'll be getting with you on that. As many of you know, I mentioned earlier too with our book, we put a lot of time and effort into this. And so a lot of the changes that we're going to be making in 2013 have more to do with not have we been safe and things like that, but it's a lot more with documentation. As I'll talk a little later, we have had 2 different OSHA inspections in 2012, and I think we could expect to see OSHA again and other folks like them through our facilities in 2013 and years to come. So a lot of times the documentation of what we do is almost as important as whether we do it or not. So so let me now move on a little bit and talk about how we're going to introduce our book here. As you can look through the book, there's multiple sections, many different areas, from bin entries to confined space, lockout, tagout, and there's a lot of different things to go through. But what we would like to do is start a process where each month we're going to introduce 1 chapter. What we've decided to do at our last regional managers meeting is to set up a schedule and I'll be sending that out in the email here as well, so that each one of you as location managers will be helping your regional manager on various safety meetings throughout the year. So each one of you will have one that you need to work on. For an example, I'm handling January here, but in February the topic is going to be emergency action, and Garton and Brian Riley from Hart will be putting together our emergency action plan and how that needs to be handled from a safety meeting and training and various things like that. In March, lockout tagout will be Mark along with Chris Gray from Evansville, and we'll just kind of go down through the list. And so hopefully this book, it seems a little bit big and overwhelming at this point, but if we go through it chapter by chapter and make sure we kind of have the proper training and along with the right documentation and all that. So we think that should be a good topics for monthly safety meetings. Again, we don't want our safety meetings to be real long. This kickoff one will probably be the longest. I think safety meetings are good in about 15 minutes. I think people get the point and at least hit the high points of what people need to think about on the various topics. So that'll be coming out as well. So moving on a little bit, I'd like to look back, I guess, at 2012 and just kind of reiterate where we've been and where we've come from, and kind of give us shed some light on kind of where we're going and what our plans are for 2013. 2012, like I said, we've had 2 different OSHA site inspections. Our first happened out in Colorado in June, I think. It was kind of funny because we had just opened up the Lamar elevator, and within a week, not even a week, we already had an OSHA inspector on site. It was kind of unique that I happened to be out there myself and had a good chance to go through the walkthrough with the OSHA inspector, and I actually learned a lot from him about inspections and various things. We did get cited on the Lamar for some guarding. The folks out there did a good job of getting the guards put back in place, and so our citation was not all that bad, being we were able to get any of the problem areas rectified very quickly. So we appreciate the work that was done on that. Then here in November, we had an injury, and it became basically OSHA gave us a call and said they were coming in because of a media referral. It was an injury we had in Yukon, and it made the press. And so from there, OSHA saw that there was an issue, and so we had OSHA come on site to look at our elevator at one of our Yukon facilities. That inspection is still going, investigation is still ongoing, and so we are not quite sure at this point what will actually come out of that. But again, 2 different, so we've had two site visits from OSHA in 2012. Kind of recapping where we were at, we've unfortunately had 8 injuries throughout the company in 2012. Of which 2 of those were actually lost time injuries, and the one I know in particular was a very bad injury, but fortunately it could have been much worse, and so it's just a bad thing, and we really hate to see injuries. There were also multiple small kind of what I call near miss type things that happened throughout the company, and again, those are really opportunities to probably improve things and fix things and things like that. A couple other things that happened throughout 2012 is our workman's comp insurance company, Berkeley Ag. I'm sure several of you have had site visits from them, and I think our last one was in Ottawa. They came on site, one of the safety directors from Berkeley Ag, and it's kind of a different arrangement with Berkeley Ag because they actually are our workman's comp insurance carrier, and then they come on site wanting to make sure that we have a good safety program because they actually are on the hook for insurance losses. And so really our incentives, it's become very clear that our incentives are very much aligned with Berkeley Ag. I mean, we want a safe environment for all of us to go to work and people to go home from work the same way they came, as well as Berkeley Ag also wants us to have safe facilities. So they've been very helpful with even helping develop our book and some various things. I think our last one there at Ottawa, they took a bunch of pictures and different things of areas that they felt like we needed to correct. And looking through their report, I agree. I mean, a lot of them are areas that we'll need to work on and get rectified here in the coming months. I would expect to see site visits at least another 5-6 facilities again in 2013, and really welcome those site visits. The intention is that they kind of come in with a fresh set of eyes. A lot of times there's problems that we all kind of walk around and you get used to them every day. Well, they come in, it's like, well, this isn't right, well, this isn't right, there's a cord missing here or a frayed cord, and you know, it's like, oh yeah, that's right, we need to fix that. Well, we do need to fix those things, and they write them up on a report, and then that gives us a list that we can easily work from. So they've been very helpful, and we'll welcome their help here in 2013. I guess moving on, a lot of you have always traditionally watched our safety video and signed our safety policy acknowledgement. We're part of this safety meeting. I would want all of our employees again to watch the video and again sign that they watch this. This is still a very good video. I've gone through quite a few different videos kind of in putting our book together. But this one's really one of the best ones. I mean, there's a lot of different topics on it, and I think what the feedback from people like Berkeley Ag and OSHA is that, well, that's a good safety video, but we need to do more in-depth training and make sure people understand really more of the ins and outs of the rules, as well as do a better job of documenting the various safety things that we do. So that's really going to be where our book and a lot of that is going to be helpful, I guess, going forward. So part of this safety meeting, we want you to watch this video and sign. And then my chapter on the book is our flip to the second chapter called Safety Policy. And you'll see there's a tab or a kind of a cover sheet on the front of each chapter. And there's places in there to sign and date that. And so as we go through each one of these safety meetings throughout the months, I'd like to have each location sign and date when they had the safety meeting. And then that would mean that the policy has been reviewed and understood, and then we would be in compliance for the next 12 months for that each one of those sections as far as training and that kind of thing. So this really gets to be an important thing if we ever get into a lawsuit or things like that, that you can go back and document that training was given. But more importantly, we really want people to not have accidents. I mean, it's a bad thing. It's painful. It's expensive. And it's just a lot of reasons why it's important. So there's a couple paragraphs in here in our general safety policy that I kind of like to read through and kind of hopefully give everybody a real understanding of what Northern Ag's view on safety really is. And I'll just read a couple of them here. Employee safety is a top priority for us here at Northern Ag. Our goal is to create a safe working environment for all employees. This includes the involvement of all employees in the process of improving the workplace procedures, environment, and working to eliminate potential hazards associated with work duties. We're not, in our company, we're a very active management company where a lot of our, really to me, everybody is somewhat of their own manager. Like it also says in the next paragraph, we believe each employee is in the best position to ensure their own safety, but the company is also an obligation to provide training and proper equipment and tools to perform the various tasks safely. So that's really our belief, is that each one of us as employees are responsible for our own safety, or are in the best position to be responsible for our own safety. And thus, if you see something that's not right, or there's a cord frayed, or a ladder that's bad, or a place that's not guarded, we feel that each one of us as employees has a responsibility to speak up. Maybe you need to let your manager know that, hey, this guard is off here. We need to get something put in place, or maybe this area of the elevator is not clean. We need to get that cleaned up. I mean, it's a potential hazard. There's a lot of different things, but we want to be definitely inclusive of everybody. I think if everybody participates in our safety program, it becomes this, that's our, I guess probably a way to put it would be, that gives us the best potential to have the best safety program we can. You know, I can sit and write a policy book from here in Kansas City, but that doesn't necessarily make the company safer. You know, we can drive safety videos, but that doesn't make you safer necessarily. So safety really needs to be on our mind every day we come to work. Little things like safety tipping and a variety of those kind of things. Also, you know, look out for each other. That's, I think, also a big part of safety. So yeah. Anyway, hopefully that kind of sheds a little light on our basic philosophy here at Northern Ag. You know, we certainly want everybody a safe and environment here in 2013 and productive environment. I think that basically kind of wraps up what I wanted to talk about here. Again, the safety video and that probably does a much better job of explaining it than I do. But anyway, a little different format. Appreciate everybody's hard work in 2012 and look forward to a very exciting future here in 2013 and also a very safe 2013. So thank you.